applying that to that sales order. Okay, the other one is on the inventory side. This is a great way to help with some reconciliations. You'll see the inventory all in one view. When I go in there, basically this one is item based. So if I go look at my items, it basically gives me the same look and feel from that. Let me sort my items by number here. So let me pick one that has some activity and the warehouse that goes with it. Hopefully you guys don't have this many warehouses. And there's my quantity in on a document number. Here's a quantity in on a receipt. So basically if there was anything moved or transferred, it would show those. And then over here would be the sales documents on stuff going out. Let me pick this other one, see if there's a sales document on it. Okay, but I think you get the gist here of what we're talking about. So those are two new screens with 2016, but really the functionality relates to 3 new screens around the all-in-one view, both in 2016 and 2015. Okay. From the ease of use standpoint, a lot of this is around payroll, but not all of it. I can remove inactive payroll codes from lookups simply by dropping that view down and saying exclude inactive pay codes. Okay, so if you're running payroll and you spend a lot of time looking through old pay codes, but we can't get rid of them because they're historical, you can set that and then really limit that list of pay codes that are available because we're excluding the inactive ones. I know there's probably some folks, oh, wait a minute. There's probably some folks out there who've seen this when I'm importing a budget just from a spreadsheet, just using the regular old import from a spreadsheet functionality in GP. It will now give us an exception report at the end of that tells us duplicate accounts. So if we brought the same account number in more than once, it'll let us know that. It can help us identify missing accounts. So if we brought in a range, it'll identify the ones that are missing. And there's one other one, I can't think of it right now, but it is pretty useful on creating an exception report on budget import. Okay. If you use analytical accounting, the user access settings have been significantly improved in 2016. So if you have a new user and they don't have access to that new transaction dimension, there's a really straightforward setup screen where you can go in and pick the user and say they have access to this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one. Okay. Okay. So that's the ease of use section. I wanted to show you real quick the payroll accounts aspect of that. So in the old days, I would go in and enter in the payroll account screen. Today they're using a ribbon. So I go into HR and payroll and I come up here to my ribbons. If you haven't used ribbons, ribbons have been out for a while, so I highly recommend you taking a look at them. Here is payroll posting accounts. And this is every single payroll posting account that I have out there. Now, because it's demo data, this is very simple. But the thing that I really like is this right up here. I can dump this to Excel and then set up my Excel spreadsheet and then turn right around and import it back in. Which is, if you've ever gone through this process, if you're a payroll user, that's huge. Because when I go into a new state, I've got all the state withholding to set up and all the state taxes related to it. Or if you have a complex chart of accounts and you're constantly changing your payroll setup, that is big as well. So I can export it to Excel, make my changes, and then import it from Excel, just kind of like I do the GL budgets. Okay? All right, so wanted to show you that. And then I'll show you, I think we're pretty much done here. This is all the new features in GP 2016. Again, I highly recommend that you relate this back to 2015 if you're not there yet, because a lot of them are related to that. But if you're not using Doc Attach, you're not using workflows, and you're not using the all-in-one view, you're truly not using GP to its fullest extent. You'll notice on the right-hand side, the third one down, the Vets 100 report is updated. That's all the Affordable Care Act. Those are Affordable Care Act stuff, which Microsoft has done a fantastic job with keeping up with all the changes. If you're wondering about that, whether they are, they are. Okay. So I highly recommend also, if you're interested in Power BI, just jump out on the internet and Google it, whatever, go look at it. It is a fantastic tool. It's gotten market acceptance like nothing I've ever seen, but it is not necessarily a GP tool. We can use it with GP, and it's highly effective there. And you can see that they are planning on creating a pretty tight integration between Power BI and GP. But if you're looking for dashboards on other type of information, Power BI is the best we've ever seen, and it doesn't start at $50,000. I think generally it's $10 per user per month. So in the Microsoft model, they're going for market share, and I'm recommending to clients that you take a look at that and take advantage of it if it works for you. Okay, Helen, did we have any questions?
I'm not seeing any questions yet. There's a chat box down at the bottom of your control window. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in there. If you'd like, you can raise your hand in the control box, and if you have a question you'd like to ask Charlie, we could do it that way as well. I'd like to remind you again, if you showed up after I made the announcement, that there are 2 documents that I've uploaded there in the control panel. The 2016 system requirements. All you need to do is click on it and it will download there for you. And then the GP 2016 What's New document. So both of those should be available there for you to download. Oh, we might have a question here. Yep, we do. Charlie? Let me see here. Can GP 2010 SP4 be upgraded directly to 2016?
No, we'd have to take the GP environment to 2013 first. Basically what they do is they say we'll upgrade anything within the last 2 versions. It kind of matches the support. But if you're on 2010, I believe SP4 will go directly to 2013. And basically what you're doing is you're combining 2 upgrades into 1. So there is cost savings there, but you do have to hit 20 at a minimum. Okay. Hopefully that answers the question.
Let's see. And I mean, really, if you guys have any other questions about this or want to see a specific demo on something, of course, we're happy to do that. Just give me a call or email me or Charlie. We are planning this summer to do roughly about it'll be a video as opposed to a webinar. We're going to prepare videos to be released about once a month that will go more in depth into some of these subjects. We really want to do one with the devices and go more in depth to see where you can use the Android or the iPad or iPhone and the workflows. So that's one we'll be doing, and we want to do one more on Power BI and a few other ones. So we're definitely going to be getting some more information out there about the changes in GP. Okay, I've got another question, Charlie. Cloud-based GP system hosted, let's see, hold on. What are the bandwidth requirements for clients that use a cloud-based GP system hosted in a data center?
Well, we provide that service now, and because everything happens up on the server, about the only thing that requires bandwidth is reporting. So if you're downloading a huge 20,000 page report, that's going to have to go down the wire. Otherwise, it's just the screen and the keyboard interaction. So other than that, there is no data going back and forth. So pretty much everything that I've seen, I mean, if you're still on dial-up, that's probably going to be a problem. But if you're on DSL, obviously it matters how many users, but it is a very thin bandwidth requirement. It's really relative to users. So if you say, well, Charlie, we've got 100 users, that's going to be a different answer, right? But if you've got decent internet speed, you're going to be able to do cloud operations. Okay, so there's not really a minimum requirement there that I can answer that way, but if you're not waiting 20 seconds for screens to open up on your Internet Explorer, then you're not going to have to wait 20 seconds on GP either, because all of that processing, when you hit post, that all happens in that cloud environment. It never brings it back down to your machine like it does with the fact line.
And if anyone is interested in cloud information, we have a website set up that's pretty comprehensive in the information there, www.asi-cloud.com. And again, that's something that I can definitely help anybody with. Do we have any other questions? So I think we're getting pretty close. We said we were going to try to wrap up around 11:45, and it's 11:42, so we're pretty close. So if you think of something after we close up this webinar, like I said, feel free to reach out to us. I did record this, so there will be a recording available if you feel like you missed something or want to go back and see something that Charlie demonstrated in this webinar. I think we'll go ahead and close this up. Unless you have anything else, Charlie?
I don't think so. Just so that people know, from the aspect of the cloud, I know as accountants we're generally conservative and not comfortable with moving to the cloud. But what I'm seeing out there is a major shift in that view. So where even 2 or 3 years ago, most people were not moving that direction, today most are. So we're seeing a wide acceptance both from new people moving to GP initially and from clients that have that installed locally and don't want that anymore. They want that cloud service. So if you were concerned about it before, I may have even shared that viewpoint with some folks over the years. Today, that's just not the same, and people are moving to it. It's working very solidly and fulfilling the aspects that we would want it to fulfill. So if you've had fear of it, put that away and take a fresh look at it. It may still not be for you, but it's not the concern that it used to be.
Okay, well, we thank everybody for attending today, and we really hoped you got some good information about what's new in GP 2016. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Have a good day.